Hey guys, we're going to talk for a few minutes about how to find slope or the rate of change when you have a table or a graph. So let's get going. The learning objective, I can use data from a table or a graph to determine the rate of change or slope and the y-intercept in real-world problems. So here you go. Here's a table with data. Here's a graph with data. The line would be considered the data. So we're going to be able to determine the rate of change from the table, and then we'll be able to determine the slope. Okay, here we have a graph. Here we have a table. So the way that you're going to find the rate of change. So first of all, we know that M stands for slope or rate of change, and it's equal to the change in the y values over the change in the x values, okay? Y always goes on top, x always goes on the bottom. So to find the rate of change, use subtraction. Subtraction, okay? So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at my largest value here. So I've got 26.5. I want to know how do I get, what's the difference between 26.5 and 25? So I'm just using subtraction. I want to find the difference between those two numbers. So 1.5. Okay, so the difference is 1.5. That's the change in the y values. This is 3 minus 2, and that equals 1. So that's the change in the x values. I want to do that a couple of times. I want to make sure that everything has the same rate of change. So 25 minus 23.5. 25 minus 23.5. Okay. Oh, 1.5 again. The difference between the two is 1.5. What's 2 minus 1? It's definitely 2. I could then do 23.5 minus 22, and I will get 1.5 again. And 1 minus 0 is just 1. So to determine my rate of change, I'm taking this change in these two y values over the change in these two x values. So the rate of change is 1.5 over 1. When you're writing slope or you're writing rate of change, you don't need to put the 1 on the bottom. So we could just say that the rate of change is 1.5. And that's what I'm looking for. Okay. So you're doing the subtraction, you're finding the difference in the x value or the y values, and that's going on the top. You're doing subtraction to find the change in the x values, and that's going on the bottom. That's how you determine rate of change with a table. Okay, so now let's look at, well, here you go. So here's a problem that we were working in class. Here's that exact same table, and it's got 0, 22. That's an ordered pair. That's an x and a y value. 1 and 23, 50. 2 and 25, 3 and 26.5 or 26.5. So one thing that you may be asked to do on a STAR test question would be to find which situation matches the data in the graph. Okay, well, go ahead and find the rate of change. We've already done that, and we know that it's 1.5 excuse me, 1.5. Right? So every whatever, we don't even know what this stands for. We just know that something is always increasing by 1, and this is always increasing by 1.5. So here's the situations. A says 1 American dollar is equivalent to 23.5 Canadian dollars. Well, we can look at our table. That is true. You do see that 1 corresponds to 23.5, but maybe. You could even put, I don't know, maybe a question mark. Remember, we're looking for the best representation. B says a baby measures 22 inches long at birth. The baby grows 1.5 inches each month for 3 months. Okay, that's definitely a maybe, okay? We're going to come back to that in a moment. What about C? Jenny has $22 in her bank account. She spends $1.50 every day. Why would that not work? If she started out with $22 and she spends $1.50 every day, would her bank account grow? I wish it would. That would be awesome. But that's not going to happen. No. Her bank account would then be depleting. It would be becoming less and less money. We would be subtracting $1.50 each time. So that's not going to work. And then if we look at answer choice D, a plant grows at a rate of 3 centimeters per month. Okay, so let's say 1 month goes by. Did we grow 3 centimeters? No. The rate of growth here, or the increase, is 1.5. That's not going to work. I think this is the best answer choice. A baby measures 22 inches long at birth. Okay, so let's stop and think about that. Let's say this is the number of months, and this is the number of inches. At birth, the baby is 0 months old, right? They haven't grown at all yet. They've just been born. So that does make sense. 0 months old, 22 inches. And then it says that the baby grows 1.5 inches each month. Okay, well, 1 month goes by. Hey, I got a 1.5 inch growth. Now the baby's 23.5 inches long. And then another month goes by. And another 1.5 inches goes by. So yeah, that's absolutely going to be the right answer choice. So remember, you're looking for the best possible situation to match the data in the table. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at these tables. Excuse me, graphs. Alright, so here I have drawn some graphs. Got an x-axis, got a y-axis. So y is vertical, x horizontal, and I have put a purple line, a green line, and an orange line on this graph. So in math, M stands for slope. You guys have definitely got that down. But what does B stand for? Yes, I know it should stand for something that starts with the letter B, but it doesn't. It stands for the y-intercept. That's just what it stands for. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So anyways, we know that M is slope, B equals y-intercept. So let's take a look at what those mean. All right. So let's look at our purple line here. Here's my x-axis. Here's my y-axis. We're only interested in where does this purple line cross the y-axis. Okay. Well, here it is right here. So let's think about this for a second, because this is the origin, right? 0, 0. So if I'm counting upward, I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm at positive 3. And then if I look at what is the ordered pair for that? Well, let's see. If I was going to plot that point, it would be 0, because I don't move left or right, and I go up 3. So my ordered pair for the y-intercept is 0, 3. Notice 0 is the x value, 3 is the y value. Y-intercept crosses at positive 3. The y value is 3. Okay, so B, for my purple line, B is 3, or the y-intercept is 3. B is 3. So let's take a look at the slope of that line. Okay, now, slope, we also call that rise over run. Rise is on top, run is on the bottom. Rise is going up and down, just like the y-axis. That's why it's called the change in y. We put that y value on top. And the run is the vertical change, or the horizontal change, just like the x-axis, and that's why we put our x values on the bottom, just like this. Remember back here, we said we put the change in the y values on top and the x values on the bottom. So, we're going to look at the slope. I'm going to use a right triangle to identify the slope of this line. So, when you are doing that, find 2 perfect points. So, slope. We're going to find 2 perfect points. And when I say perfect, I'm talking about these, see right here? They land right exactly in the center of the graph. That's a perfect point. Here, the y-intercept is a perfect point. If I keep looking, oh, I believe this is a perfect point. All right, so we're going to find the rise over the run. So we want to know, first of all, this is a positive slope. From left to right, it is increasing. It's positive. Okay, and then we're going to go from one perfect point to another. I only need to go up 2 units. And then I need to go over here 1, 2, 3 units. This is my right triangle I'm using. So this part is the rise. Over here is 2. 1, 2. The run is 1, 2, 3. So the rise over run, slope, rise over run, 2/3. The slope is 2/3. I want to leave that as a fraction because it's not really a fraction. It's really slope, and it's giving me direction. How is this line going? Well, it's going up 2 units and over to the right 3 units each time. So that's the steepness of it. Okay, so we want to leave that just as it is. Alright, so I'm going to stop there. We can talk more about finding slope and rate of change at a later time. Bye! Talk to you later.